is inconceivable and incoherent. It makes no sense. Then
The
it's really
survival
their
of
point
my
of view.
family,
Yeah.
my survival, and the survival of the human race, if for no other reason.
So we all came
I
together as a
believe,
collective.
therefore, that a grand
Came up with
game
laws,
of chess
came up
is
with
being
rules,
played on a level
every
that
time
we
the collective
can
so
barely
many
imagine.
even
We are the farm.
even kill.
Like the collective.
Pawns
Yeah.
are valuable only under certain circumstances and are frequently sacrificed to gain an advantage.
That's the way
Anyone who has studied military strategy is familiar with the concept of sacrifice. Those who have seriously studied history have probably discovered the real reason we go to war on a regularly scheduled basis. My research has shown at this point that the future laid out for us may be just about impossible to change. I do not agree with the means by which the powerful few have chosen for us to reach the end. I do not agree that the end is where we should end at all. But unless we can wake the people from their sleep, nothing short of civil war will stop the planned outcome. I base that statement not on defeatism, but on the apathy of the majority of the American people. 25 years ago, I would have believed otherwise. But 25 years ago, I was also sound asleep. We have been taught lies. Reality is not at all what we perceive it to be. We cannot survive any longer by hanging on to the falsehoods of the past. Reality must be discerned at all costs if we are to be a part of the future. Truth must prevail in all instances, no matter who it hurts or helps, if we are to continue to live upon this earth. At this point, what we want may no longer matter. It is what we must do to ensure our survival that counts. The old way is in the certain process of destruction, and a new world order is beating down the door. I fear for the little ones, the innocent, who are already paying for our mistakes. There exists a great army of occupationally orphaned children. They are attending government-controlled daycare centers. There are latchkey kids who are running wild in the streets, and the lopsided, emotionally wounded children of single welfare mothers, born only for the sake of more money in the monthly check. Open your eyes and look at them, for they are the future. In them, I see the sure and certain destruction of this once proud nation. In their vacant eyes, I see the death of freedom. They carry with them a great emptiness, and someone will surely pay a great price for their suffering. If we do not act in concert with each other and ensure that the future becomes what we need it to be, then we will surely deserve whatever fate awaits us. I believe with all my heart that God put me in places and in positions throughout my life so that I would be able to deliver this warning to his people. I pray that I have been worthy and that I have done my job. From the time a person leaves its mother's womb, its every effort is directed toward building, maintaining, and withdrawing into artificial wombs various sorts of substitute protective devices or shells. The objective of these artificial wombs is to provide a stable environment for both stable and unstable activity, to provide a shelter for the evolutionary processes of growth and maturity, in effect, survival, to provide security for freedom, and to provide defensive protection for offensive activity. This is equally true of both the general public and the elite. However, there is a definite difference in the way each of these classes go about the solution of problems. The primary reason why the individual citizens of a country create a political structure is a subconscious wish or desire to perpetuate their own dependency relationship of childhood. Simply put, they want a human God to eliminate all risk from their life, pat them on the head, kiss their bruises, put a chicken on every dinner table, clothe their bodies, tuck them into bed at night, and tell them that everything will be all right when they wake up in the morning. This public demand is incredible, so the human God, the politician, meets incredibility with incredibility by promising the world and delivering delivering nothing. So who is the bigger lie? The public or the Godfather? This public behavior is surrender born of fear, laziness, and expediency. It is the basis of the welfare state as a strategic weapon, useful against a disgusting public. Most people want to be able to subdue and or kill other human beings which disturb their daily lives, but they do not want to have to cope with the moral and religious issues which such an overt act on their part might raise. Therefore, they assign the dirty work to others, including their own children, so as to keep the blood off their own hands. They rave about the humane treatment of animals, and then sit down to a delicious hamburger from a whitewashed slaughterhouse down the street and out of sight. But even more hypocritical, they pay taxes to finance a professional association of hitmen, collectively called politicians, and then complain about corruption in government. Again, most people want to be free to do things, but they are afraid to fail. The fear of failure is manifested in irresponsibility, and especially in delegating those personal responsibilities to others where success is uncertain or carries possible or created liabilities which the person is not prepared to accept. They want authority, but they will not accept responsibility or liability. So they hire politicians to face reality for them. The people hire the politicians so that the people can, 1, obtain security without managing it. 2, obtain action without thinking about it. 3, inflict theft, injury, and death upon others without having to contemplate either life or death. 4, avoid responsibility for their own intentions. 5, obtain the benefits of reality and science without exerting themselves in the discipline of facing or learning either of these things. They give the politicians the power to create and manage a war machine to, 1, provide for the survival of the nation womb. 2, prevent encroachment of anything upon the nation womb. 3, destroy the enemy who threatens the nation womb. 4, destroy those citizens of their own country who do not conform for the sake of stability of the nation womb. Politicians hold many quasi-military jobs, the lowest being the police, which are soldiers, the attorneys and the CPAs next, who are spies and saboteurs, and the judges who shout the orders and run the closed union military shop for whatever the market will bear. The generals are industrialists. The presidential level of commander-in-chief is shared by the international bankers. The people know that they have created this farce and financed it with their own taxes, but they would rather knuckle under than be the hypocrites. Thus, a nation becomes divided into 2 very distinct parts, a docile subnation and a political subnation. The political subnation remains attached to the docile subnation, tolerates it, and leaches its substance until it grows strong enough to detach itself and then devour its parent. Human beings are machines, levers which may be grasped and turned, and there is little real difference between automating a society and automating a shoe factory. Factor 1. As in every social system approach, stability is achieved only by understanding and accounting for human nature. A failure to do so can be, and usually is, disastrous. As in other human social schemes, one form or another of intimidation or incentive is essential to the success of the draft. Physical principles of action and reaction must be applied to both internal and external subsystems. To secure the draft, individual brainwashing, programming, and both the family unit and the peer group must be engaged and brought under control. Factor 2. Father. The man of the household must be housebroken to ensure that Junior will grow up with the right social training and attitude. The advertising advertising media, etc., are engaged to see to it that father-to-be is compliant before or by the time he is married. He is taught that he either conforms to the social notch cut out for him, or his sex life will be hobbled, and his tender companionship will be zero. He is made to see that women demand security more than logical, principled, or honorable behavior. By the time his son must go to war, father, with jelly for a backbone, will slam a gun into Junior's hand before father will risk the censure of his peers or make a hypocrite of himself by crossing the investment he has in his own personal opinion or self-esteem. Junior will go to war. Our father will be embarrassed. So Junior will go to war, the true purpose notwithstanding. Factor 3, mother. The female element of human society is ruled by emotion first and logic second. In the battle between logic and imagination, imagination always wins. Fantasy prevails. Maternal instinct dominates, so that the child comes first and the future comes second. A woman with a newborn baby is too starry-eyed to see a wealthy man's cannon fodder or a cheap source of slave labor. A woman must, however, be conditioned to accept the transition to reality when it comes, or sooner. As the transition becomes more difficult to manage, the family unit must be carefully disintegrated, and state-controlled public education and state-operated child care centers must become more common and legally enforced so as to begin the detachment of the child from the mother and father at an earlier age. Inoculation of behavioral drugs can speed the transition for the child. Factor 4, Junior. The emotional pressure for self-preservation during the time of war and the self-serving attitude of the common herd that have an option to avoid the battlefield is all of the pressure finally necessary to propel Johnny off to war. Their quiet blackmailings of him are the threats. No sacrifice, no friend, no glory, no girlfriend. Factor 5, sister. And what about Junior's sister? She is given all the good things of life by her father and taught to expect the same from her future husband regardless of the price. Factor 6, cattle. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brain. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter, become useful beasts of burden or trainers of the same. So now you know. You can see every step that the elite have taken in their war to control this once great nation. You can see the steps that will be taken in the future. You can no longer pretend innocence. Your denial of the conspiracy will fall on deaf ears. This tape is part of the education that will give Americans the weapons needed in the coming months and years of hardship as the New World Order struggles to be born. Truths cannot be negated or shrugged away. The message is this: you must accept that you have been cattle and the ultimate consequence of being cattle, which is slavery, or you must prepare to fight and, if necessary, die to preserve your God-given right to freedom. History is replete with whispers of secret societies, accounts of elders or priests who guarded the forbidden knowledge of ancient peoples. Prominent men, meeting in secret, who directed the course of civilization, are recorded in the writings of all people. The oldest is the Brotherhood of the Snake, also called the Brotherhood of the Dragon, and it still exists under many different names.
Yeah, he
The
said he thinks
Brotherhood
it's
of
a
the
good
Snake
idea.
is devoted to guarding the secrets of the
So
ages
I've been talking
and to the
about
recognition of Lucifer
some kind
as the one
of SOJA
and only
type
true
thing
God.
for several years with him.
If you do not believe in
No,
God,
he might
Yeah,
have
it's a
to
little
get
more
more
died.
because he sees you're actually trying. You worked on yourself. Now he's willing to help you work
millions do,
on your
and
life.
their beliefs and actions based upon those beliefs will
Makes sense.
affect me. It is clear
Sir,
that
that's
religion
why I can't.
has
You
always
get big
played a
account.
significant
With cell
role
phones.
in the course of
I have
these
a
organizations.
my AT&T account for Hockoebottomboy Boys.
Often divine, is a
Oh, I was
familiar
Like
saying,
if I had
all but a few.
$120 right now,
The
I could
secrets
walk
of
in
these
there
groups
with
are
you
thought to be so
and give them
profound
120
that only
and
a
you get a
chosen,
brand new iPhone.
well-educated few are
And it just
able to
increases my bill by
understand
like
and
25
use
bucks a
them.
month.
These
Ah.
men use
So,
their
yeah,
special
that's how I
knowledge
got
for
this
the
one.
benefit of all mankind.
I'm out to
These at Cricket, I had to pay like almost
But how are we to
$300
know,
for.
since their knowledge and
I'm
actions
not
have been
have to
secret?
go there. No, I was thinking
Fortunately,
for
some of it
rehab
has
business.
become public
Yeah.
knowledge.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Secret
California
societies
soap.
mirror many
Yes,
facets of
California soap.
ordinary life.
Why?
There is
Because
always
it's two
an
separate lives,
exclusivity
two
of
separate
membership,
things for you to
with
be
the
able to offer
resultant
business.
importance
Yeah,
attached to
and we'll
being
do an
or
LLC so
becoming
we
a
can
member.
protect ourselves if
This is
liability.
found in all human endeavors, even those which are not secret, such as football teams or country clubs.
Yeah, she
This
did a little broken on that
exclusivity
for
of
me.
membership is actually
He's trying to
one
figure out
of the
would
secret
be
society's most powerful
because he's
weapons.
like you're gonna have to
There is
incorporate
the
because
use
the
of
amount
sign,
of stuff y'all
and
gonna
other
be doing.
tools.
Yeah.
These have
Because
always
well, I
performed
was just want to end
valuable
up doing
functions
it. I
in
want
man's
on all the houses
organizations
like
everywhere.
this that Germany and them
The
going right.
stated reason,
Right.
almost
Why?
always
Because you
different
have
from
someone
the
that
real
actually cares
reason
about the
for
people
the
in the house.
society's
Yeah.
existence
Meaning that
is
what they're gonna
important.
go and fix
It
shit
can
that
be
needs to be
anything,
fixed. You're not
but
gonna
is
let the house go to
usually
shit.
fraternal
Yeah.
and is found in
think
all
less of
pressure
people.
groups wherever
Exactly.
people
They go down
congregate.
and shit.
Yes.
The most
I got
potent
the
tool
people-
of any
that should
secret
be the rule.
society
You should have
is
to
the
be
ritual
smart.
and
What
myth
in your
surrounding
country, in your
initiation.
country home, the
Exactly.
home
These
religion,
special
because then you actually
binding
understand where
ceremonies
people are coming
have
from.
very deep
Man,
meaning for
so
the
I had to
participant.
have an hour and 45
Initiation
conversation with a
performs
random
several
customer.
functions which
Yeah, I
make up the
mentioned that
heart
I
and
want.
soul of
I'm like,
any
I want
true
Starbucks. She's
secret
like, what are you planning to
society.
do with you? Like, I know you're not
Like
gonna stay.
boot
She's like,
camp, the
so
initiation
I'm
into
saying
the
you're not
armed
gonna stay here,
forces,
even though they do
important
district relief.
aspects of human thought
Because
that are
you're
universally
too
compelling
good of a
are
person, you're
merged
too
to
smart
train
for
and
this
maintain
bullshit.
the efforts of a
Yeah.
group
She's
of
like,
people
why are
to
you?
operate
I'm like,
in a
I'm gonna look
certain
up for
direction.
that. I call. She's like,
Initiation
I'm
bonds
60 days
the
in.
members together in mysticism.
Wow, that's
Neophytes
awesome.
she's like,
gain
so what
knowledge
are you
of a
planning to do?
secret,
I want to
giving
start with
them
Starbucks.
special
God
status.
bless. She's like,
That's
but I
awesome.
want to do a little
Meaning
spin
of
on that.
neophyte
She's like,
is
what do you want to do? I
planted
want to do
anew
marijuana
or
as a back.
reborn.
She's like, that
A
is the
higher
best idea
initiation
I've ever
is,
heard.
in reality,
She's
a
like, I am a
promotion
component
inspiring
of you.
loyalty and the
She's like, I
desire to
understand
move
why
up to
people
the next
don't
rung.
people,
The
other people
goals
see it
of
could
the
be a
society
miracle drug.
are reinforced,
it's literally
causing
could
the
be a cure.
initiated
It could be
to
the key to
act
world
toward
peace.
those goals
Yes.
in everyday
Literally.
life.
That's actually what she was saying.
That brings about a change in the
We'll never have
political
war
and
ever
social
again.
action of
Yes.
the member.
We just won't
The
make
change
guns.
is always in the best interest of the goals of the leaders of the secret
If everyone
society.
just quit making bullets and
The
quit making
leaders
guns,
are called adepts.
you don't gotta take them away. Or, you know what I mean? It's like we just need to be better as a society and
trained
legalize
to
weed
follow
and
orders
have
without
world peace.
thinking.
No,
The
we
result
should
is
still
often
have
looting or death of the
armies
soldier
and stuff,
for the realization
but we shouldn't
of
just
the
go Star
commander's
Wars.
goal,
Yeah.
which may or may not
We should be more
good for the
protective
overall
only.
community.
Only our borders.
Initiation is a
More-
means of rewarding and
Kind of isolationist, but
who
not
can be trusted.
isolationist. Because
You
isolationists
will notice
doesn't
that the higher
don't
the
do
degree
trade.
of initiation,
They want
the
to just
fewer the members
deal with the
possess
people in
the
their
degree.
country. So we'll have to be
This
slightly
is not because
isolationist
the
and
other
slightly
members are not ambitious, but because a process of
outside
very
because
careful
we would want
selection
to
is
trade
being
with other
conducted.
countries to make money.
Yeah.
A point is reached where no effort is good enough without
And I
a
do
pull
agree.
up by the
All
higher
of
member.
our money should
Most
stay
members
within our
never
borders.
proceed
We should.
beyond this point, and
Ukraine
never
is a
learn
little
the
different because
secret
Ukraine we
purpose
got them
of the
agree to
group.
disarm.
Yeah.
In
The
93,
broken member
93,
from that point on
92,
serves only as a
93.
part of the political power base, as indeed he has always
We were the
done.
reason why
You
they
may
did
have
not have
guessed by
nuclear
now
weapons.
that
Oh, really?
initiation is
Yeah.
a way to determine
The war
who can
when they took
and cannot be
when they
trusted.
took the
method
other half
of
of Ukraine
deciding exactly
in
who
1993.
is
Russia
to
already
become
did this
an
once.
adept may be
Oh, wow.
And
decided
we've already broke it up
during
once.
initiation by
This is
asking
not the
the
first time it's
candidate
happened.
to spit
This
upon
is
the
like the
Christian
second
cross.
one.
Damn.
If the
Yeah,
candidate
Belarus is
the
not.
members
Belarus was
congratulate
never
him and
Russia.
tell him,
Belarus was part of
"You have
Ukraine
made the
for
right
almost
choice,
the
as a true
whole
adept
life of
would
Ukraine.
never do
Damn.
such a
Russia
terrible
went and
thing."
took it.
Dang.
The newly initiated might find
It never gave it, and they and now it's part of the peace. They got to keep it.
Never
If they
advances
if
any
they
harm.
promise not to join NATO and they
If
promise the
instead
nuclear
the
disarm, so they
candidate
promised the
spits
nuclear
upon
disarm
the
and they
cross,
never joined
he
NATO.
or she has demonstrated a knowledge of one of the mysteries and
Now
soon
they
find
say,
him
okay,
or herself
we got one
candidate
for
the
you.
next
They don't have to
level.
join us, but bitch, if you go the fuck back in there, we're coming to blow you the fuck up.
No, that's right.
Us and the U.S.
Knowledge
Play
or
these
wisdom
games.
is their only
Nigga, they don't have to be part of nigga for us to sing goddamn B2 Bomber with a below the fucking building up.
Man's desire to be one of the elect is something that no power on earth has been able to lessen, let alone destroy. It is one of the secrets of secret society. It is what gives them a political base